afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Crystal Clear Show. I'm your host, Crystal, and it's my passion to help professionals 30 and over to get unstuck from their corporate 9 to 5 jobs to launch and grow a successful six-figure business with my Crystal Clear Blueprint. And today's guest is my very dear friend, Kristie Hall, who is an award winning meetings and events professional. She has an experience in all phases of conception and execution of group travel, businesses, events. Now, specializing in hotel, venue, sourcing, and contracting for live and virtual events. Let's welcome Kristie Hall. Hi, Kristie.
Hello, Crystal.
It's
Thank you
nice
so
to
much.
have you here.
It's a great pleasure to see you always.
Thank you, my dear friend. So today we'll just imagine that we are in my new sofa because it's been a while since we saw each other. And I just want to welcome you into this group because you have been there for me for a long, long time already. Since our kids were in kindergarten and now they've grown up so fast. And we just want to spend time and talk about business this time. I know you have been traveling a lot. Last week you were in Spain and with so beautiful pictures that you have posted in your Facebook group where we will invite you later. Tell me a little bit about of what you do. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, well, I'm an international meetings and event venue consultant. So basically, any group, 10 people or more that are having a meeting, a conference, or an event, I can help them find the right place with the right terms and conditions, contract the best deal possible, and help make the event a success at no cost to my clients. I work with Helms Briscoe, which is the global leader in meetings procurement. We have 1,400 associates around the world, and I've been with the company since 2009. And those little things up there on top of the cabinet are the top producer and President's Club awards. So it's been a long odyssey and a lot of long hours, but it's going well, and I love it.
Oh, yes. Well, that's the most important thing. You're doing what you love, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we always start with the superhero question. And I would like to ask you, Kristie, if you were a superhero, who would it be and why? And before that, what is your superpower?
It's hard to be immodest. What I see this to be as immodest because I'm much more adept at finding my own flaws. I've heard other people say that I'm very giving and that I can keep track of a lot of different things all at the same time. So to me, it feels like living in the midst of chaos and surviving sometimes. But yeah, maybe that's a superhero skill. If I was to be a superhero, it's much easier for me to find some sort of cartoon character like Ren and Stimpy to describe myself. But aspirationally, if like as a role model, then it would have to be Wonder Woman. Not because I see myself as Wonder Woman, but there was traits about just she had those little magic cuffs that deflected bullets and danger, and she had a lasso of truth. And she could run. So all of these, they're not, it's not flying. I'm sure she has other magical characteristics as well. But I always love the idea of being able to get people to tell the truth for working for good and to be able to deflect problems rather than, being the big muscle one and they bounce off of. She had to be quite adept. So I think there's characteristics in her that I would want to emulate.
Wow. Well, you know why because in the beginning I always just ask who would be your superhero, but then I added this question actually because most of in the guests that I have, they are so modest. They don't we actually I am included. We don't really find our talents as our strengths. We don't really think about ourselves as superheroes, whereas we are really, to the eyes of our children, we are their superheroes, we are super mamas. And I remember Marcus person, what really inspired me when I was talking to him when he was, I think, 3 or 4 years old, when he was sick. I just remember this really very vividly. He said, I have great mom. She is so amazing. I know how busy she is, but she is always there for me. And I just loved how sincere he was talking about mom. And I was like, oh, I want to meet this woman. I want to be her friend. I want to be as great mom as she is. Because we always, like you said earlier, um we don't boast about ourselves more, whereas we always think about the negative things that we have in ourselves. But we have so many good qualities, and I know you so well because you are the sincerest person. Well, we have almost the same names. We are Crystal, Kristie, and we are very clear and crystal, like crystals. We are very transparent, and I love this friendship that we have built over the years. Transparency, being sincere, and just being there for our kids. Well, that's our biggest joy, I think. But
But at the
before,
same time, also really trying to how to advance each other and ourselves and the community around us
yes,
to improve, to empower, to grow, and not just accept things the way they are or complain too much. A little bit,
yes, it
but
is.
yeah.
That's true. You always try to improve your surroundings, because not only you were active in the parent teacher association, but you are also very active in the community, in your neighborhood. So you are really indeed a Wonder Woman, Kristie. So, well, I have asked you a quote. So, and you have given me three, and they are all very interesting. But first, I'd like to start with the first quote, the golden rule, because it's what you do. You do unto others as you'd have done unto you. Why do you live by this?
Well, it's from my mom, and she's marvelous. She's so lovely. So it's easy for me to see my own shortcomings when I think about how fantastic she was. But she always had that do unto others as you'd have done unto you. And I just see that as imagine if everybody could do that a bit more. Not all the time, maybe, but bring more of that into our lives. And I see even professionally, I mean, certainly personally, it's very easy to see how that's going to enhance your life or make you feel good about yourself. But I even see that in my entrepreneurial experience, giving away has always given back.
Right.
And so when people have questions or if they don't know what they're doing, I'm always willing to kind of help them, give them information for free, give them my time, give them ideas, give them support, and help them to be, more confident or more successful or in a better place to take the next step in whatever decision they're making. And by doing that, it's, I've had such wonderful things come back, new business opportunities, new friends, and just knowing that the world is a little bit better because of that transaction and that positivity.
I love
I
that.
think
Yes. Well, I really love that. It's really giving giving that makes you more whole, it makes you more complete, more purposeful, full in life. I think it's, well, the true meaning of life is when you are really down and low, is really what do you give, and what can I give to others, how can I help others. And
Yeah.
when you don't, you really feel empty because you're only thinking about yourself. But when you think about other people around you and you just give and love and care and support, like what you said, you don't really think about what's in return for you because it comes anyway. What you give, you receive. So
Yeah.
I really love it.
Why do you think
And
dogs are so popular? People love, that unconditional, giving, loving spirit. Now, I think as women, we are raised from birth to be giving and nice. It doesn't mean that you don't have boundaries. It doesn't mean that you're not aware of what your priorities and your goals are and being a bit careful,
right.
but trying to hold on to everything yourself, your knowledge, your energy, your time, your spirit, leaves you with nothing. So yeah, we having a blueprint for moving forward and making that work well for you and
Right.
those around you is important.
Wow, I love it, especially when you mentioned about having boundaries, because most of the time we just give and give and give. So in the Filipino way, we say sometimes you give your hand or your arm, but they'll take your whole body.
Yeah.
So that's when you don't have boundaries. But when you have boundaries and you know, okay, this is my limitation, it's not because you are egoistic or you don't want to give, but you need to set healthy boundaries also, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. If you punch the whole, a cup should be overflowing. You're giving from the overflow, not taking it from cracking a hole in the bottom of the cup and letting all your energy and faith in people pour out.
Yes, that definitely. You need to give what you have in overflow instead of what you have in your cup, or else you'll be empty.
Yeah, finding a balance there. Yeah.
So, Kristie, in this, now that you have a very successful business, you have been awarded several times as one of the best in your domain, what is your biggest why?
Um, yeah, it's self-sufficiency, and I've been married. I have a great, awesome husband. I've been fortunate in my life, but even even still, I want to model for my children, and I want to just know that deep down that I am self-sufficient. I can stand on my own no matter what happens, either through fate or through messing something up, just to have that stability. So I think it's maybe a bit fatalistic, but that's my why, is just to have that
Mhm.
self-esteem, that financial competence. But
Yes.
I also, yeah, I like the dignity of working. I love what I'm doing too. I mean, I work in travel, and yeah, it's great to work with hotels, but I always
Mhm.
think that what I'm actually doing is finding the right place for the right group to help the right people have the right experience. And so that way I can make people on both sides of the equation really happy. I love meeting hoteliers and telling them what
Right.
they need to do about their marketing, what they need to do to, like, trying to understand who they are and what they provide, and then talking with clients and finding out what they want to have, where they've been, and bringing them together. So that's why it's, in a way, it's really, again, being of service and helping others, but in a field that I love, that is, provides opportunities. So it's great. That's my why.
Wow. I love it. It's actually the essence of what this show is. really doing what you really love
Mhm.
while giving essence to others, while giving value
Yeah,
and
yeah,
purpose. And that's exactly the essence of this show. It's really knowing oneself and what, asking yourself, why am I really doing this? Why am I, how can I do what I love to do and have and gain from it and have financial stability from it? And and I just
yeah,
love your answer. It's really being, as a woman, we really need independence. We need financial stability, and we need to show our children that if we can do it, they can too.
yeah,
So I believe it's teaching our young girls and also our young men to provide and support, to be financially stable and help others as well at the same time.
yeah. That's one
I
thing
would
I've
love,
always admired about you with the different ways that you've approached things entrepreneurially, and it's also you see it as providing opportunities for others.
yes, definitely providing opportunities to others. That's another key word, because when you are growing and you learn from everything, like one of your quotes you shared me, you you provide and you just share, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that the learn from everything came from, very few of us know from childhood what we're going to be when we grow up, and uh, many of us get caught into different side roads and think, oh, I've messed up, I've gone the wrong way, now I'm never going to be able to change, I'm stuck in this field and I'm a complete loss. So having the help of somebody like you who can provide that path out of the darkness is really helpful. But this concept that learn from everything, learn from your mistakes, learn from, do things that challenge you, that are like not your habit, that's not what other people like you are doing. Make mistakes, expose yourself to different artwork and communities and friendships and classes and opportunities from growth, because you really have no idea how how it will enrich you later, or how you'll have affected somebody else that you would not cross paths with. So it could be, you're stuck in a path, and you've got your 9 to 5 and you've got the kids and you're in a rut, but then take a ballroom dancing class, or take a Spanish language online course, or volunteer 3 hours once a month, and everything will help form that resilience. And like a car that's stuck in the sand,
Yeah,
you don't just keep revving the engine, because what are you going to do? You're going to burn out.
right.
What you try and do is you back up, you move forward, you move to the side, and then you start to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Right.
that each of these diverse experiences, adventures, disasters that you've had, socially, politically, educationally, whatever, they are all things that help get your car unstuck so that you can move onward.
Oh wow.
So learn
Yes,
from everything.
that's true. Wow, it's really true. We really learn from everything, from, and people learn from us whether we like it or not. People emulate us. People look up to us, and it's just the cycle of life. We affect the people around us, and it's our decisions whether we continue, and when we fail we stand up, or when we fail we just stop and just be in that rut that you mentioned, and get stuck. I would like to ask you, Kristie, where did you start this journey that you are on? You have been doing travel journey for 20 years. But when and where exactly did you start this? And who inspired you to do this?
I don't know. I read a lot of books when I was growing up in elementary and high school. And it just always made, I grew up in a very small town in upstate New York, like 5 hours away from the city. I never even went to New York City until I was, I think, in high school. And then, it was a very small little town. But I always wanted to do Peace Corps. I always wanted to do something really challenging and adventurous. And so after university, I moved to Austin, Texas, as a Vista volunteer, and I spent just 1 year there. And then I had a friend who moved to Hawaii, so I moved there. And on the way there, I filled in my Peace Corps application, like on the airplane. Wow. And then I got to live in Cameroon for a few years, for 2 years as a volunteer with the Peace Corps. And then I moved back to the U.S. And then I had a job opportunity in Amsterdam. So I took a job transfer from Boston to Amsterdam. And then that was in year 2000. And although I go back to visit, I've never lived in the States since. I've had the chance to, 8 years in Amsterdam, then 3 years in Istanbul, then London, then Brussels, and now Doha. So, yeah. When did my journey start? Probably as soon as I could start reading and dreaming.
Wow. It's an amazing journey. It's true that when you read, you open your imagination, and then you just open doors for you because you imagine the life that you want. And when you are there, and when you feel, even if you're not in that moment of your life, but when you start imagining it already, you feel like you're there. So that's why you are where you are, isn't it?
I think that younger people now, they don't read books as much, to be honest. Maybe they listen to audiobooks, but it's so much more about digital content. And I try not to be too disparaging, because there is a lot of quality content that can be found to inspire and educate and to make you dream. So I think a lot of people nowadays are probably getting their inspiration from online content, and maybe they'll come across your blogs and develop their own path as well.
Yes, definitely. Well, the society has opened so many doors for us. And sometimes it's also a pity because we don't, like you said, the kids doesn't read as much books as before. But I myself have not read as much before, but I have read now more than what I've read when I was young. So it's different. It's when you are young, you are more imaginative. You like, it brings you to a different country, a different place, but when you're older, you're like, okay, so where do I want to go? Sometimes it's either your imagination is constrict or your imagination is broader because you have lived a full life.
Yeah. And even if it's not the imagination, one can imagine all you want, but it's actually the steps that get you out of your rut and onto the road of adventure. That's where having support or kind of a step-by-step plan is so helpful.
Wow. Yes. So I'm going to ask you, do you think after all what you have gone through, what you have lived, do you think you are already successful in your life? And what does that mean to you?
Yes. And I mean, I have there's some checklist of characteristics that people say, like, this is a sign of success. And I have had those. But a lot of it's just luck. A lot of it's just trying at something long enough and hard enough you're going to be successful eventually if you stick with it hard enough. So,
Right.
but I see success in so many people around me, and it manifests in so many different ways. So yeah, sometimes just being a survivor, just showing up is already a bigger success than somebody who has all of the structures in place
Right.
to keep them on top. So it comes in all different phases, and I think everybody should find the ways in which they're successful.
It's
Even
true.
recovering from trauma or something, like people who've had very difficult experiences or childhoods or come from countries, being enough is good enough, but being a bit more is better. So
Yes, it's true.
I don't know. Kind of a vague referral, but
But well, it's actually true. It's doing 1% better than yesterday is being successful already.
yeah,
Being where you are from now, from 10 years ago, if you have your family, well, in every person has different definition of success.
yeah,
Sometimes it's more money, more fame, but I believe it's more than that. It's being present for you. I believe that, and me, being there for our kids is one of our successes, isn't it? Because we have been there every milestone, and
mm.
and
Yes, but
that,
it also, trying to you can't be everything all at the same time, and so there's a lot of times that success is predicated on me yelling at them and telling them to go away while I'm trying to take care of something. So, it's not like a fairyland of success in every room of the house, So,
definitely not. Yes, we are all busy moms,
yeah,
and it's true. We are very very raw in this
yeah,
conversation,
yeah,
that indeed we have experienced. Okay, I'm in the meeting now, can you just go out? I'll be there for in 1 hour, or after this meeting. And but I just loved how you show how present you are in your motherhood to your kids, because you moved there not because you're supposed to move there, but because you want your kids to be able to spend more time with their dad, because their dad is working there for some time now, and you just move them from Belgium to Qatar, to a new country. And we were talking earlier, it's not a new chapter for you. It's really a new book, because you have uprooted your family and put them there, and replanted your
yeah.
root in Qatar. So it's a very bold thing what you did, and I really admire you for making that decision.
Yeah, but I mean, not everybody needs to make a big drastic leap of faith change like that. I really love your statement about changing 1 degree. I mean, maybe everybody's heard it, but I still find it like so powerful. The notion that a ship going
Right.
from one port to another, if they deviate their navigation by 1%, they could end up on a different continent.
It's true.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so there's incremental changes for the better and for the worse. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't get this overweight all in one day. It was, and I'm not getting, and I mean, the changes that you make can't be, you stop eating to
Right.
get there. It's
No.
like it just has to be a strategy of incremental changes, supported. There's things you can do to get
Yes.
support from other people, guidance, nutrition, empowerment, motivation, accountability, all of these
Yeah.
things which help you to get to your success, whatever continent that might be on.
That's true. I love that.
And that's
I love that example. We don't grow into where we are now, but it's because of those little actions that we did that put us where we are.
Yeah.
And it's just true. It's 1% every day just make you better or make you worse. So why not make it better, isn't it?
Yep.
We are coming to the end of our show. I really love talking with you, Kristie. It's so fun because this is really raw, Kristie and Crystal on the Crystal Clear show. And my mom is watching us. She said, "Good to see good friends growing together and sharing inspiring stories." Thanks, Mom. So, is there or what are the 3 best practices that you could give us and that we could implement daily to be successful?
I struggle with anxiety and feeling overwhelmed. So I think even your sister in you, we've sat down and said, how can I handle this? And you guys helped me to come up with a strategy for offloading my mental load of trying to do all the things for all the people and all the dreams and all the shoulds. So getting adept at using technology like one tool well, using Outlook and establishing the to-do list so that you don't have that so you don't have this overwhelm. So being able to prioritize increasing your skills. And the third one, just have fantastic people around you that you can talk with and grow with and learn from and bounce ideas off of and laugh and be real. And have a crystal clear view of the future.
Yes, Kristie and Crystal Clear view. Yes, it's true. So it's having using the technology, you said, and having great people around you, having mentors, having accountability. And what was the last one that you mentioned? Sorry, I got this wrong.
I think fun.
Fun, definitely.
Make sure that you're finding ways to enjoy what you're doing as well. If you're not laughing ever, there's something wrong. So find ways to fit that in.
Right, that's true. Have fun. Just be yourself and have fun with the people who love you, with the people who are smarter than you, because who you are with. Birds that flock together, fly together. What's that saying again? And so have those 5 people around you who will motivate you, who will inspire you, who will push you to grow, who will just be there for you in good times and in bad. And I'm sure, Kristie, you are one of that people that I have got, and I'm so happy and grateful to have you. Even though we are now thousands of miles away apart, you will always be this special person. My mom is saying she's sharing this episode to all our family and friends.
And I will do the same. Thank you, my friend, my inspiring, amazing entrepreneur, funny mommy, stressed out wife and person who finds ways to make things better.
Well, we try what we can to make a better place for our kids first and then for the whole world.
And I see it happening with you, and I'm so inspired and grateful for that. So
I'm so happy. Thank you very much. So in the end, can you share one last crystal clear advice to our audience? And
just learn from your mistakes.
It's true.
Can't not make them. So just recontextualize them and move on, move up,
Right.
move out.
Right. Um, learn from your mistakes. I really love. There's one quote before we finish. There's one quote from Les Brown. I think he says, "When you fall, make sure that you're facing upwards, so then you can stand up and move again and go forward." So it's like when you make mistake, just make sure that you stand up again, and when, like you said, contextualize and
Yeah.
innovate what was wrong, and then move again and try again, because
Yeah.
just life just happens, and life is learning from and relearning and unlearning. So
It's not always crystal clear. Sometimes it's really messy, but that's why finding resources is important.
it is
Find
true.
ways
So
to get
that's,
yourself through it.
yes, it's not always roses and rainbows. There's always the storm before the rainbow and rain. So just enjoy the journey, I think.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
Yeah.
journey and be present. Be
Yeah.
present at the moment.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kristie. I am so happy and grateful for having you with me in the Crystal Clear Show. So thank you everyone for tuning in with us. Remember, where you are right now doesn't matter. Where you are going does. Remember to get crystal clear wherever you go. Have a good day. Bye.